Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started.
So you guys might have noticed that the PlayStation Network was down over the weekend for about, I think it was almost a whole day. Started out on Friday night when everybody was getting off work, getting ready to go play Helldivers. But guys, PlayStation Network, when I say this, I mean anything that was connecting to the PlayStation Network using a PlayStation sign-in for, I guess, your PlayStation profile, PSN Plus, stuff like that. This stuff was down if it was on PC and you was trying to play Helldivers and you're trying to sign in with your PlayStation account, which I don't know if that's still a thing. I know they kind of pulled back to make these things optional. But if you was trying to sign into the PlayStation ecosystem, it wasn't happening. There was a lot of problems with it. There was actually some problems as well. If we hop on here, like on Games Radar, we're talking about it. The PlayStation Network has been down for 17 hours, and PSN players say even single-player games and disk drives aren't working. This was a big deal. This was a huge deal that happened. I know there was a lot of people trying to gaslight people, saying it's okay and it's not a problem. We even had people like this guy on an IGN post here on X kept on replying with old news from back in the day when Xbox, I mean, all these networks you're paying for, by the way, Xbox Gold at PlayStation Premium, Nintendo's expansion program, and Steam, Fortnite. A lot of the stuff, there's problems with these services. They do happen. Steam is not really too huge except for whenever they do maintenance, but for some odd reason they want to count that as service outages when they're usually planned. But we had a lot of people that was pretty pissed off about this, especially this dickbag right here who got to the point where he basically wanted to see me dead over a plastic box. I do anything to see you never speak again. You're so fucking retarded. And he tried to gaslight me and say that he wasn't wishing me death, which I don't know if a normal person was to walk in and see that. They're like, oh, you wish him dead. You don't want to see him speak again. You want to see that happen. I don't know how there's any other way to look at that. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I think it's fucking stupid that he even said that in the first place. And it kind of shows you that a lot of these fanboys take this shit way too seriously when it's actually just something that doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things. It's a PlayStation. It's an Xbox. It's a PC. You play video games on these plastic boxes. That's it. It's not that fucking deep. It's really not. It's really not. There's a whole lot worse problems going on currently with the current game industry, and you're wanting to talk about that. Well, even PlayStation had some other news over the weekend with we had a confirmation from I guess it was Ted Price over at Insomniac that just retired. You guys know it's Ted Price, I'm sorry. You guys know I love the Resistance trilogy. I love those games, the Killzone, Infamous, and stuff like that. And Insomniac had that series called Infamous on PlayStation, and they made it to the third game of the trilogy, and they actually wanted to continue it right here on Game Rant. Resistance 4 was allegedly scrapped because of The Last of Us. Okay, I love the first Last of Us game, don't get me wrong. It's a great game, it's an amazing game. I don't know why they had to remake the game, considering the game still looks good from the PS3 and the PS4 remastered editions. I don't know why those exist, but for some odd reason, Sony was like, nah, we want more Last of Us and not more Resistance. There's actually a pretty good fan base for those series, like Killzone, Resistance, Sly Cooper, Infamous, Hot Shots Golf, and such Twisted Metal, Siphon Filters, SOCOM. And PlayStation, for some odd reason, doesn't want to deal with that one, would rather push a bunch of woke bullshit from the West, California, I mean, which, by the way, California had its own problems. If we take a look here, PlayStation layoffs over this last week, and there's been a lot of this stuff, and it's not just a PlayStation problem, okay? It's not just a PlayStation problem, but it's also the whole industry. But if we take a look right here, more PlayStation layoffs reported by software development team member. We have it right here. We can take a look at this whole article. Sony's PlayStation division has recently laid off several employees, including some Sony Bend, following the cancellation of their live services. There was also some people in California, I think it was like their UI teams and stuff like that. Guys, there's a fucking problem going on right now. Like I said, it's not just PlayStation, but PlayStation, for some odd reason, you have a lot of these fucking retards coming in trying to protect the Queen when the Queen is on fire. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, not so much because they do their own thing and they're usually pretty damn successful. But the whole industry's on fire, and yet we're still fighting over plastic boxes. You cannot tell me with a straight face, you cannot gaslight me saying you're telling the truth that PlayStation canceling 10 games, having a $400 million game that gets completely demolished after less than a week, gets basically put down with a rail cannon, not to mention all the studios that's been closing down. And by the way, I know you're going to say this, Xbox has too. Yes, they have. They've made stupid mistakes. Look where they're at right now. Okay, there's no fucking denying that, but there is a shift when it comes to the video game industry, and a lot of you people want to gaslight people into not thinking that. You're wanting to think people are A-okay with what's going on. Why do we still have to get remasters, and why is our games still coming out on the previous generations? This whole generation, PlayStation, Xbox, has been awful. It's been fucking terrible. This is the most pointless of the generations that I can think of. At least when Xbox One and PS4 came out, there was still some games coming out that wasn't completely ass. And there's a lot of that now, a lot of push to the games as a service, as well as a lot of this political bullshit that's being shoved into our games. I know there was a big fight currently right now with the, what was it? What was the game? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where, you know, the first game was basically a based RPG. It didn't have any political bullshit or anything like that. It was just a medieval RPG, and people actually liked it. It was a cult favorite, and it actually came out with a sequel. If you take a look right here, Kingdom Come, we'll go ahead and pull that up here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Let's take a look how everything looks and the news of that. Let's take a look at the launch numbers here. If we take a look at the launch here, we're at DualShockers. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 beats Helldivers 2 on launch on Steam. I think currently right now, if you take a look, here's Kingdom Come Deliverance. Actually, I think it even reached over 250,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is pretty good. But there's a lot of people, especially the anti-wokers. And by the way, like I said, I've said many times before, I'm not a fan of woke shit in my media. I use my media, my games, and everything as a way to escape this shit, and they're shoving that stuff in here. But whenever I take a look at this, what they was arguing about is there is a gay sex scene in Kingdom Come 2, but you really have to go out of your way to do it. You have to, and people made it out to be this big woke disaster. And it's not just the anti-woke. I'm talking about the toxic ones that find woke in every single thing. I'm like, wait a minute. I've played video games in the past that allowed this kind of stuff to happen, like lesbians or homosexual stuff like that. That's happened. There's been relationships like that in games before. Mass Effect, you could do whatever you want. It's just kind of weird to me that they're trying to grasp for straws here on Kingdom Come. Doesn't help that the actual developers being kind of an ass and attacking some of these people, which you know, here's the thing, the game is doing good. A lot of people like it. It's doing really well. And, you know, we need more games like that. But, you know, you did add it and it wasn't in the first game. But you're not making a big deal about it. And this is where the disconnect is when you talk about woke games. You know exactly when something is putting a woke narrative in it. You just know it. A good example was Dragon Age: The Veilguard. You have a whole conversation starting out, hey, I'm non-binary, and that's it. You know exactly what's going on there. Why do we have to call attention to this stuff? And this is happening in every single facet in the gaming industry. And it's burning it down. Not only that, we have the games as a service stuff. We have unneeded remasters and sequels. Nobody wants to take risk, and they want to see, the industry burn, basically. It doesn't help that some of this stuff has been funded by the government with the USAID shit, which that's a whole nother thing. Asmongold talked about it. I believe Smash JT. I believe Cabrutus, Grums, which, I like Grums from time to time. He's another one of those guys that's kind of overstepping what it means to be this woke stuff. Good example, too. A good person to actually take a look at would have been Fratanga, which he's been actually going after some of the anti-woke, the more serious ones. And he's one of those guys, too. He doesn't really like woke media and shit like that. And he also calls out the industry of what's going on with the video games. He talks about the fanboys, the toxicity, and all that shit. And I don't understand. One of the questions I actually want to ask you guys. So if you're a PlayStation fanboy, and you know exactly who the fuck you are, you're one of those guys that hear somebody say Xbox, it seems like it's a drop of blood going into the ocean, you go fucking stir crazy, trip over your dicks to say Xbox is dead or buy a PlayStation. My question is, who are you to convince me to buy a PlayStation and not an Xbox? Why is it your job, why is it your responsibility to tell me, the consumer, who has the money with my wallet, to spend money on something that maybe I'm not interested in, or maybe I am interested in? You guys act like you have to defend the queen, you have to act like salesmen, and you have to make fun of people that want something different? Why? Why is this so important to you? Why is this an important thing to you? Why do you feel like you have to defend a billion-dollar company that's currently just treating you like shit? There's been no transparency on this outage. The only thing they said is blah blah, been attacked, blah blah. Give you 5 days of free service. There needs to be more transparency with this. You need to be able to ask why you are shutting this shit down. How much money has went into these projects that are currently dead? Why are you still defending this shit? I get it, brand loyalty, and you're going to call me an Xbox. That's fine. I play on all the systems, and I do prefer playing the Xbox over the PlayStation. I do prefer playing it on everything else because it's fun to me. I do like the services it adds, especially between PC platforms, my handheld, my Xbox. I got my PlayStation right next to it, playing the exclusives, or if there's a game cheaper on the PlayStation than the Xbox, that's what I'm going to buy it on PlayStation, at least if my friends aren't already playing on Xbox. I don't see why it's your responsibility to tell me not to buy an Xbox. I don't know why. And whenever you ask that question, the only thing you do is bring up the same talking points, and it usually has to do with PlayStation sales. You don't give people the direct answer. You just tiptoe across everything and be like, see, sales, that's the reason. No, that's not the reason. You're not telling me why you personally, why is it your job to convince me to buy a PlayStation? You're not doing a job. You're not doing anybody a favor. To be honest with you, you're making yourself look really fucking stupid, very stupid. And you have the audacity of calling people retarded and uneducated and just pick on people because they like to play on a different fucking box? What? You're acting like evangelist. I don't understand what your whole point is of the console war. Now, I do think it's funny from time to time to mess with these people, and I'll tell you directly. I'll see these people, and I'll hop in and be like, buy an Xbox, just to stir shit up, because it's easy, very easy to trigger these people. The easiest thing you could think of, you can just say Xbox, and you have people just literally jumping in, grabbing each other's dicks to say Xbox is dead, or blah, 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 blah. Xbox this. They talk more about Xbox than they actually talk about PlayStation, because let's be honest here. There's nothing really going on currently except for a lot of bad mistakes that PlayStation is currently going through. Xbox has made plenty of mistakes, especially in their hardware division, and that's why it's not selling. I think all of 2024 there was only 2 million consoles sold. I mean, that's taking a look at it like me, I say, well, that's pretty good for, what it is. It's 2 million people that bought an Xbox. It's not, it's not 60 million or whatever. So I don't really care about sales. I don't get up in the morning and be like, oh, looky here. The PlayStation sold 500 bazillion jillion units. Fuck you, Xbot. What's that really add to the conversation? Adds nothing to the conversation because it's pointless. You're not getting paid for it, are you? Is PlayStation handing you a check? Are they sending you free games? Are they? Is this like a PlayStation USA type of deal? No, I doubt it. You're just being fucking stupid. That's exactly what it is. Now, another question, too, is the actual thought about how exclusives work current day 2025. Now, here's the thing. I like exclusive games. I'm not going to tell you it's a bad thing. Sometimes exclusive does sell the console. That's always said. PlayStation wouldn't be PlayStation without some of the big bangers it had back in the days. When it launched, we had Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Crash Bandicoot, and then you had all the way to the PS3 era, PS2 with God of War, The Last of Us, Killzone, Resistance. I would say that's a good reason to own a PlayStation, right? Same for Xbox. First Xbox had Halo, Xbox 360, Halo, Gears of War, Fable. Those are reason to legitimately buy these machines. And after they started implementing games into, I don't know, the PC ecosystem, it starts making the actual need for, I don't know, the device, the hardware, kind of not really necessary when they're actually pushing to be like, hey, we're going to put this on PC. Xbox is just going on all in everywhere. So the point of exclusives for in is not really valid to begin with. And I do think current 2025 situations, exclusives are really bad just due to the price it costs to make these fucking games. We have games that's costing $400 million that are failing. They are failing, like bad, terribly. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a company to lose. They have to go multi-platform. They have to, especially if they're going to build these big games. Maybe it's just PlayStation and PC. Or in this case, we have PlayStation, PC, and Switch. That's fine, but you're starting to see diminishing returns from some of these bigger games. There's this big push right now of AA development. Games like Stellar Blade, Black Myth Wukong, all these big games that are coming out that are doing very, very well compared to these AAA counterparts. It's really wild. You have to think about it. And the good thing, too, even though Stellar Blade and Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong, they're also on PC, and they have more of a market there. I don't think it's going to be too much longer. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see everybody multi-platform. Maybe not Nintendo, but I don't think it's really a thought or a bad thing to think that, hey, everybody's going to be moving this way. It only makes sense because if you're going to build these big games, you're going to need more money or you're not going to survive. These studios, these people, they're going to lose their money. These studios are chasing trends. I don't know why we needed a God of War live service game. I don't know why they put Rocksteady, that has one of the greatest superhero video game trilogies of all time, work on Suicide Squad, but failed immediately. You're basically what's going on is they're spending so much money and they're not giving us enough for the money they're asking for. And you've seen articles where they're saying, hey, GTA 6 needs to be $100 or more. What are you doing? Do you want the game industry to fucking die? Because that's what's happening. You tell people to spend $100 for your game when you don't give us anything worthwhile. What are you fucking thinking? Ubisoft, big example there. They have their standard edition, but they also have these $120 editions with more content, but they cut out of the standard edition to sell you back for a bigger cut. It makes no sense to me. You guys don't want to talk about these things. You want to pretend that everything is doing fine, especially PlayStation, when there's no big games on PlayStation right now to play. Same for Xbox. The only big things is like Indiana Jones. What else did we have? We had Indiana Jones, Stalker, Call of Duty, which a lot of these games are going multi-platform. But I don't see how it's your responsibility to look at somebody and be like, you should buy a PlayStation, or you should buy an Xbox with your money that you worked your ass off for. You should do that. You have to do that. Do it now, nerd. I don't get it. I don't understand. Had somebody say that I was duped into buying an Xbox, I'm like, how was I fucking duped to open my wallet up and purchase something that I'm interested in? I don't really call that being duped. I consider that being a consumer that has different interests. I don't understand. They didn't dupe me. It's not like Microsoft came to my house and put a gun to my head or threatened to kill my cats or putting them in Ohio and have some Haitian eat them. Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? It's not your responsibility to tell me how to spend my money or anybody else. It's really not. You can make fun of us. You can be like, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we're having fun. We don't need your fucking input. We really don't. Buy whatever you want. If you want an Xbox, buy an Xbox. There's some great features there. You want a PlayStation, buy a PlayStation. Some great features and games there. Everybody should buy a Nintendo, but that's different. Everybody should have a PC too. That's different. But don't fucking tell me or anybody else that they shouldn't buy an Xbox and make fun of them for doing that because they fucking enjoy it. I get the tribal mentality is like big now, and that's pretty much for everything. But I still find it pretty fucking like idiotic, very stupid that we have to have these people constantly bark about PlayStation and never talk about any of the problems that it's having. They're easy to go after Xbox and Nintendo or PC, but they don't want to talk about PlayStation. And when you see some of these fanboys, they get on and they say, hey, Xbox people are retarded. My God, guy, you're getting ass fucked dry. What are we doing? What are we doing? You're not getting anything from PlayStation currently. You have guys like Nib make a whole fucking book of a post on X written possibly by ChatGPT talking about sales numbers. I don't give a fuck about your sales numbers. I don't. That does not make me enjoy my game system more. And I don't know why that helps you. I don't know how that helps you. Does the fact that PlayStation sold 60 million units, does that make you feel better about playing video games? Does that make your experience like currently right now playing Kingdom Come make it better for you? It probably doesn't, because you're not getting anything from it. So I don't understand what's going on here, but there's a lot more I'd like to show you, and there's some stuff I don't want to show you because it's vile, but I did want to talk about this stuff. But yeah, like I said, right now the industry's on fire, and you have some fucking retards trying to feel like they have to have the need to convince you to buy something with your own money without getting paid for it. If you like this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate you coming out for today. Let me know in the comments what you're up to, and I'll see you soon. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to be doing streams here soon, hopefully. I do have an idea of some stuff I would like to do with the streams. I did want to host some type of podcast type thing called Console Wars or System Wars. Probably just go with System Wars. I think that would be better. And it'd be a podcast type situation where we have some people going up against each other, fighting over what system is better, give the key reasons, and we'll kind of treat it like a debate. Let me know what you guys think about this, if you're interested in it. Like I said, be sure to hit the subscribe button, share. Let's get this channel moving. I'll see you guys soon.